do this here.
Rob, you look.
All right, officially we are live now. So welcome everyone to one of our many Zoom chats. So today we have a collection of teachers and participants and potential participants here. So my name is Christian Fabian. I'm the founder and I would say director. Yeah, someone has a speaker on. Anyone listening loud?
I can hear it, but I don't have a speaker on.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I know what happened. Okay.
Oh, John just left. He popped out.
Oh, John just left. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, so I started my live stream and that was playing back. So I just turned the volume down on that one.
Okay.
Anyway, so again, Christian Fabian here and John, who is also a strong collaborator, but we have many collaborators for Sitka Jazz Week. He just left. He's probably going to come right back. And anyway, today we just talk a little bit what I was saying many times, that Sitka Jazz Week is a performance-oriented workshop. So what we're doing a little different at Sitka Jazz Week, we are performing from day one. And it's kind of based on the idea that as a teacher, I have seen a lot of workshops and get-togethers where the participant and the student kind of listens to the teachers for a couple of days, maybe 2 or 3 days, or an entire week, sometimes 2 weeks, and then they have a final performance. So a lot of times it can be a great thing for the participant, but not for every person. And sometimes if the performance experience is not that great, someone with a lot of talent might base their decision on becoming a musician or spending more time on music on this one performance. And, you know, some great talents have kind of fallen through the cracks. You know, I didn't really fall through the cracks, but, you know, it took me a long time to figure out a lot of things in my life. And so we were quoting from my great teacher, Mike Longo, a quote he got from Oscar Peterson. Oscar Peterson, great jazz piano player. He said, the environment which produces a jazz musician and a musician is the bandstand. And he mentioned the quote quite often. And there are certain things which work on the bandstand, and there are other things, you know, we know that jazz moved into the classroom in the early 70s, which are very intellectual, and some things might not work on the bandstand. However, what we're doing with Sitka Jazz Week, we perform right away. We want to embrace that we do as many mistakes as possible from day number one, and then we talk about it, and then we do it all over again the next day and the next day. What we are in our 4th year, and what has been kind of proven in the last 3 years, that after the second day, you know, the excitement kind of bubbles up, and people get really happy, and they made a mistake, and then they can correct it the next time around. And there's a lot of just great momentum and great energy going. So as a teacher, I want to open up the floor to Teri Cote, who came for the first time to Sitka Jazz Week as a participant, as a student, because you and your husband, Sergio Bellotti, you really wanted to hang out with Bernard Purdy, who is one of our drum instructors and, living legend who is there at the Sitka Jazz Week. And then you also ended up performing. So you also, you and Sergio, you've been teaching for many, 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 many years. So, but I just want to introduce you. First of all, great drummer. You did great, and it was really awesome to get to know you. I know Sergio for a long time. And so what was your experience? I mean, talk about yourself a little bit, and just tell us what was your experience about Sitka Jazz Week, what you noticed was totally different to other workshops, and maybe it was not that great. I don't know. Just tell us what you experienced.
Okay, hello, I'm Teri Cote, as you said, and I've been playing professionally for 44 years, drumming and singing, and teaching for 25 plus years. And I thought this was really a wonderful experience and a wonderful program because not only was everybody amazing, the instructors were wonderful people and excellent players. And the students were all eager and positive and fun. It was really great because everybody played every day, and it was a very open environment and very relaxed environment. So you would play and you would learn, and then you would go perform. And not everybody's comfortable to do that right away, but that's the whole idea of it, is that you start playing right away, because becoming a musician doesn't happen overnight. And I always say it's part of you. It's part of your life every day. When you're happy, it's part of your life. When you're not happy, it's part of your life. You don't say, I don't feel like playing because I'm not happy today, or I don't feel like practicing because I'm depressed, or I'm mad, or no, it goes with you with every emotion and every vibe you have. It just goes with you every day. So this is a beautiful experience in that you get up and you play right away, you make mistakes, which is, I always tell my students when they're learning a drum groove, you have to do the beat so many times over and 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 over again until you're comfortable with it. So you're going to mess up constantly. It's part of the process. You're not expected to be perfect. So this gives you a nice environment to do that. You have to kick the cobwebs out. That's what I tell my drum students. Just kick the cobwebs out. Keep playing those grooves until it's smooth and there's no more cobwebs. You're grooving, So yeah, it was a beautiful experience, beautiful place, beautiful people, and a really, really comfortable environment to learn and make new friends. And it's beautiful. I'm looking forward to it again.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Teri.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you so much. You guys really made a big difference, and it was great to have you. And I think we all can agree on that. I want to also give it up to Rob Cohen. Rob Cohen is a great piano player. He lives in Juneau. And Rob initially was introduced to me to Chaz Giss, and I think Rob might have been aware of me a little bit before that. And I have heard about Rob. But what I really liked about Rob personally, when I had coffee with him early last spring, asking him to come out for Sitka Jazz Week and be part of the faculty, teachers, and player with the participants. Rob knew of my late teacher, Mike Longo, and that really made a big difference to me. And Cleave had also played many years with the Mike Longo big band, and that really kind of touched my heart, because Mike has been such a force in my life as becoming a jazz musician. And then I never really, worked with Rob on, in an extensive amount of time, but Rob, you just jumped right in there. Here we go. What's that? The voice leading book? Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. That's great. So anyway, I felt like right away we were kind of hooked up, and I really was happy about that, because one of the foundations at Sitka Jazz we do a drum warm-up, which Mike Longo learned from Dizzy Gillespie, which is kind of the foundation to really improve your rhythm within and everything. And I talk about Mike Longo much more during the Sitka Jazz Week. But anyway, Rob, it was your first year. Thank you again from the bottom of our hearts and my heart. It was really great to have you, and you will be back. So when you came to Sitka Jazz Week, what did you notice? What stood out? What you thought was different? And if you want to talk about a little bit about your credits or what you have done, go ahead. But the floor is yours.
What I noticed just after, really just in the first 2 days, let alone the entire week, was similar to what Teri was talking about, how to start out.
Rob, you're breaking up a little bit. Can you come closer to the mic?
Yep.
Okay.
Is that better? Am I breaking up less?
Yeah.
No, yes, that's better. Yeah.
Okay, great.
I think there's a function in the top left of your screen, original sound for musicians. Make sure it's on. Otherwise, there is kind of a noise gate, and sometimes it shuts off the. I don't know if you have that in your window. But anyway, it's much better. Go ahead.
Will it help if I enable the original sound? Or
that's what I have on. Yeah, so that means that your noise gate is
Great.
not cutting it off. Go ahead.
I knew that, but I just haven't used Zoom for a while. I just enabled that. Hopefully I sound a little better. Loud and clear? Okay. Similar to what Teri was talking about, I noticed even just over the first couple of days, let alone the whole week, that students had the rare opportunity to move from their inevitable basic level mistakes, which everyone's going to make, and even after just a couple of days, they were able to raise their playing to where they were making more intermediate and advanced level mistakes, which is wonderful. Because it means you've gotten past and you've gotten some confidence in your playing to the point where you're learning the language, even in the small tidbits that we teach every day, every morning. Students are instructed to take those out on the road, whether it's half a mile down to the coffee shop or 3/4 of a mile down to the restaurant, and it's wonderful. I noticed how wonderful it is, the sort of fearlessness we inspire, or that they are the students, maybe we have a little bit of part in it, but the students immediately are willing to exhibit this kind of confidence and fearlessness based on our encouragement, where they feel like, yeah, I can go out there and I know we've learned a tune today and I've learned a scale, but I'm going to put that all to use as confidently and strongly as I can. I've got my friends here who believe in me. I've got my teachers there who believe in what I'm doing, and to hear them play and then to hear them when they come back, and we all share feedback at the end of each day, just to hear all of these students say, I can't believe I did that. That was so awesome. I didn't think I'd ever have a chance to play something like that alone in my closet, let alone in front of people at a coffee house. And just to see these students go beyond their concepts and fears of what they thought could be done or couldn't be done on a couple of hours notice was just revolutionary.
You know what was really beautiful, Rob, when I saw the pictures afterwards, I was, if you guys go on our Facebook site, for everyone who's listening to this presentation, go to our Facebook site. I posted a couple of hundred pictures, and you too, Teri, I mean, you spent quite some time in the Highliner, and then we moved musicians around, but it was really beautiful, Rob, when I looked at your pictures when you worked with the participants. I didn't know you got in there on the floor, you were conducting, and you were really, there was a great exchange, actually. Reason I'm saying that because I was at Stevenson Hall playing with, mostly with Bernard Purdy and Matt King, so I didn't really know, other from hearsay, what was going on in the Highliner from, Teri would bring me the tip jar every day, say, oh, we got some tips today, And, I mean, I hadn't seen really what was happening till I looked at the pictures. And and I really saw both of you and Rob also when you had all the horn players there, you were really stepping up there, conducting them, and really that was really a beautiful. And I don't know if you saw the pictures by now, but that was great. I really we're really really encouraging that connection between the teacher and the participant to really what we talked about yesterday with John, and John will have the last word once we are one time around. It's a hang, we're hanging out, we're hanging all day from the morning till nighttime and everything. And it was really beautiful for you to see the way you connected. So thank you, Rob. I want to give it a quick to Mr. Cleave Guytton, my brother from another father, you know.
Hello, everybody.
Cleave, you've been there from day one, and you've seen really, you know, you've been there every time, and hopefully
I've seen the growth.
Unless someone famous will hire you and snatch you away, I know you're going to be back, bringing your fishing rod. But you've seen it grow, you've seen the changes, and so just, you know, share with us, you know, whatever you observed about the Jazz Week. Go ahead.
I can honestly say, not even for the students, but this festival. I've done a lot of festivals around the world and a lot of master classes, but this is something that I look forward to for my own psyche. I mean, because it's nothing better than getting out here with these kids, man, and seeing their faces. First of all, it's in the beautiful Sitka, right on the water, right on the bay there. You see the students; they come every morning, willing and to participate and learn new things. It's just a real healthy experience for anybody. I mean, even if you don't play music, just being in that environment is really, really great. But secondly, then you have all the students they're really into it. They're up there early every morning, and you can see them. They have smiles on their face, and everybody's so friendly. It's just a really great learning experience, and just to be, especially with all these great musicians that come, and it's really a highlight of my life. I mean, I know it might sound strange, but it really is. It's something that I look forward to every single year. And what the funny thing about it is, like, it happens at a particular time in the year when I'm supposed to be teaching at Juilliard. So every year I tell my boss, you know, I'm doing the festival. Okay, is it okay if I miss the first class? I'll make it up later. And they're like, yeah, well, you know, so it's really a pleasure for me to be there. It's great musicians, great students, great environment, great food. It's just, oh man, it's like it's just uplifting for anybody's soul. So, like I said, again, also just to teach the students and have them going out, learning new songs, learning new ways of playing, chord scales and presentation and body language. It's so informative for the students. So that's what I love. I love it.
Well, thank you. Hey, I didn't know you're ditching Juilliard for us. Thank you.
Yeah, every year. And I asked my boss, you know, I got this. Oh, he says, okay, no problem. we want you here, but we want you to do your gigs too. And this is Dr. Aaron Flagg. He's a great guy. Yeah. So so I really appreciate it, and I appreciate Christian having me there, because it's just like I said, to be there with John and Christian and all of these great musicians, Bernard, Teri, Sergio, it's really good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I do want to point out that I know we have Jen here. She's, you know, I think Jen saw us with the big band in Juneau last May. And anyway, Jen is checking out what we're talking about a little bit, and I give it up to John. And then if you have any questions, Jen, just go ahead and maybe ask a question or two if you like. You know, I do want to point out that the idea about Sitka Jazz Week, and I'll let you know where it's coming from. It's really an all ages program, and we have as a backbone, and the reason why I will tell you that, at the backbone we have the Mount Edgecombe High School music program, and students join us every year. And it's run by an amazing musician. Her name is Heather Gluth. She's a multi-instrumentalist. She's a great singer. She plays the piano, the saxophone, and she has been hired basically in 2022 or 2021. Mount Edgecombe had no music teacher for 7 years, and she has been hired to rebuild this program, and she's doing an excellent job. She actually, last year, she was short of 1 trombone and 2 or 3 trumpets, short of a full big band. And I told her, once you have a full big band, I'm going to write big band charts for the Mount Edgecombe Big Band. But she's really working really hard to build that program. So she's always, and her students are always part of the Sitka Jazz Week. However, the idea about the Jazz Week in general, I've been to many, and John, we talked about it a few times, and John had been to a great bass player, his name is Victor Wooten, who is doing these music nature camps in Nashville, an hour west of Nashville, and they're always open to all ages. And what I learned, when it comes to learning, age doesn't matter. So the whole thing about the Jazz Week, what I was trying to get across is, when you really want to learn, you got to forget to eat, you got to forget your age, you got to forget what you want to do. You really immerse yourself in the moment. And that's when you learn. And a lot of times when people get older, they're judging about themselves. And that's the difference between someone who's young. They don't think too much about it, But when, I always talk to my mother, is 91, and she just retired last year from what she was doing. And then every other phone call, she's like, oh, I'm 91. I said, it's just a number. In the meantime, she signs up for new courses. She just signed up for an advanced Swedish, because we lived in Sweden. I was actually born in Sweden. She is advanced Swedish class, and then she signed up for another textile class, because she's a textile artist. She's doing ceramics and textile. So it's kind of funny. So it's kind of like in the blood, I'm just like, I walked down with her the street, and she's like, last year, I just signed up for a class. And I'm like, okay, great. That's what I'm talking about, So when it comes to learning, you forget about your number and you just have fun and follow your heart's desire, I just want to give it quick up to John, and then we can open up the floor. And Jen, if you have a few questions, go ahead. I'm glad you saw us, me and Cleave, play in Juneau. That's great. That was a very special moment, because Zul Bailey hired us, and we sold out that night, and it was really beautiful. I had played in Juneau before. It was really great to see that many people in the audience, but also that many people on the dance floor. It was a beautiful concert. Anyway,
People
John,
loved it,
yeah,
people really loved it.
John, you give it up to you.
Well, I've been there going for the last 2 years,
Yes,
24
that's
and
right.
25.
And we're
And
collaborating too. Yeah.
I've been helping Christian and his team raise money and support and figure out advertising, what should I say, programs where we can get this out, the word out to the general public, and share this with my Alaska Jazz Workshop students up in Anchorage and beyond. Like Jan has been one of our students. She's started out in Anchorage and lived up in Fairbanks, now is down in Juneau. And she's a curious person, learner, wants a lifelong learner, always is wanting to learn new stuff about music and all sorts of other things too, which is good. That's the kind of person we're interested in, that wants to come to Sitka and experience not only our music camp. This is sort of like nirvana for me. As a musician, it's like, where else in the world can I go and hang out with world-class musicians who are also teachers and want to mentor with students to share this great place, and then also hang out in a beautiful location. And as a fisherman and an outdoorsman, I got fishing right down the hill. I've got bike riding. We have the National Historic Park just about 10-minute walk away. There's plenty of restaurants. We have lots of history. There's a nice museum in the Sheldon Jackson College there, which is great. So if you're a history buff, it's fun. This is one of the 2 Russian-American towns. It was originally founded by the Russian-American company. So there's lots of history. And we have, with this, our Sitka Jazz Week, every afternoon, one of the highlights is that we do free concerts around town in 4 locations, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe you can talk about that a little bit, Christian. Where are those concerts that the students play in the general public? Where can the public or the students go hear each other play? Oh, he's got the schedule up there.
Cool.
Look at that.
All right.
You're on it.
Like the document uploads here. Yeah.
Well, I know they can go to the Bayview pub, right? They can go to our Stevenson Hall and hear free concerts and rehearsals at that point in time. what was it? The Highliner Coffee House where you were at, Terry?
Yeah.
Yep, we got band down at the Highliner. We also had them up at the roundabout there, just about 2 blocks up from downtown. Christian, I can't hear you.
You muted.
Yeah, I am muted. I said the roundabout was a new location this year. And so we officially had 4 locations this year. So, you know, we can hold a bunch of more participants, and then we can utilize all 4 stages. But we did the Bayview Pub, which is our, you know, one of our main location. That's where Rob and Chaz and Sergio played. And then we have the Highliner, which was also a new location. I chose the Highliner. We used to play in a place called The Beak, which is still on the schedule. It's an outdoor location. The thing about The Beak, we had to set up and break down every day because it was an outdoor location. It was beautiful the first year. I don't know if you remember that, Cliff. We had sunshine every day. It was amazing. But anyway, the second year we had some rain, so I was looking for an indoor location. So the Highliner is one of the coffee places where we played indoors, and that's where Terry was and Rob was, and we changing our rhythm sections. And then what we do at Stevenson Hall, that's where I was staying with Matt King and Bernard Purdie. Bernard Purdie is, he's in his early 80s, and the first year we had him walk around, and he preferred, and I think it was a good idea what we did with Stevenson Hall. We stayed at Stevenson Hall, and we stayed there with participants who needed a little more guidance, so to speak, a little more attention and guidance before they go out in all the other stages. Also, the Stevenson has become kind of a stage for where you want to try brand new things you never played before. So let's say you want to do a song you never did before, then we have you at Stevenson. And traditionally there's a little smaller audience because people have to walk from the center of town, while the Bayview Pub traditionally is packed. And then the Highliner at times, Terry and Rob, I think was packed as well. And then we have the roundabout, which is in the beginning of the week a little slow, but we had a really good turnout there, like Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday. So Stevenson Hall, people have to walk, although we had audience there as well, but it's really low key. So if let's say, Jan, you want to bring in a song you want to perform, and you really want more help with that, then we have I think I can remember 2 people. One of them was a singer, and another one was a bass player who really hung out at Stevenson for a day or 2 before they actually played their songs on the other stages. So traditionally, Stevenson Hall is where we have all the teaching. You see the morning schedule from like 8:30 till noontime. All the teaching happened at Stevenson Hall, which is on the former Sheldon Jackson campus. It's right on Jeff Davis Street. And we do the drum warm-up. I learned from Mike Longo, which he learned from Dizzy Gillespie, every morning. And then we have master classes. And then we have workshops and presentations. And then from 10 to 11, we have master classes, which are organized usually by instrument. Cleave had sometimes just the saxophone players. Last year, Cleave had the saxophone players and the brass for certain things. And then the drummers usually hang out with Bernard Purdie. And then the bass players hang out with me and Chaz. And then the piano players are hanging out with Rob Cohen and Matt King. And the vocalist usually hanging out with Heather. And then we also had a special guest, was Ann Phillips, here from New York, an amazing vocalist with a lot of history and an amazing vocal coach. So we have master classes from 10 to 11. Then we have another presentation at Stevenson. And then in the afternoon, then we have lunch together. And then we are branching out into our different locations, which are really only 5 minutes away from Stevenson Hall in town, where we have afternoon concerts. And then now I'm kind of talking through the schedule. After the afternoon concerts, we have a little talk back. So we convene again at Stevenson Hall, and then we talk a little bit about what happened, what went well, what didn't went well, how can we do better the next day. And that's a famous story, which kind of I really remember vividly. about a bass player, one of Heather's students. His name was Jack. He really had no idea what to do on Monday. And then throughout Monday, by the end of Tuesday afternoon, doing the talk back, he was kind of like beaming because he remembered 3 songs and he was playing. And he's like, this is amazing. And that was just in a matter of 2 days. I mean, some people, you know, they just go for it. And some people, they take their time and it's all good. But at the talk back, we usually talk about what happened during the performances and how we can do things better. And we share our experience. The great thing about Jazz Week is that, you know, we're going through a similar experience, just on a different level, even though we are professional musicians. But things happen for us too on a gig, you know, and then how do we deal with that? And, you know, and then we do it better the next time around. So it's really coming back to the schedule, just talking you through that a little bit, John. You also brought up that we do have a barbecue, which has become very popular by our friend Candle. We're going to the beach and we're doing a barbecue, hang out, the participants and the teachers and the musicians, we are going to go, and it's usually a very beautiful event. And
Can I say something about that?
Go ahead.
Christian?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Kendall's barbecue is awesome. You know, the cool thing about him is he's just a great guy, but he sets up this fireplace, and then we actually get a bunch of cedar planks, and we actually have salmon and black cod and halibut cooked right on the fire on cedar planks. So this is like the consummate Alaska experience, right?
Well, yeah.
It's incredible. Teri.
Yeah.
I was going to say, and in addition to that, we have sea kelp dancing.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Yeah. Thank you. Jen, at this point, quick, I just want to see, I just want to make sure we cover a lot of stuff, but do you have any questions at this point? I met you, although you saw us perform in Juneau last year, but, you know, thanks for coming to the call. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the invitation, John. And do you have any questions, what you heard so far, any impressions you want to share with us?
No, I'm just hanging out and seeing what's up. You know, I'd like to go.
Good,
Sounds
great.
good.
Awesome.
Listen, I have one question.
Go ahead, Rob.
Could I have permission to leave, please? I have
Yeah, sure.
now the other day, and I have to call my dentist. We have an appointment, so.
Oh, good luck at the dentist.
Oh no, I already had the root canal 2 days ago, so
Oh.
I'm totally feeling human again. But he wants to talk, so I'd rather be here. But
Any advising words of wisdom? Anything you want to say? Go ahead.
come if if you feel remotely interested, or if you know anyone who you think might be interested, follow that feeling. It's a great experience. It's a lot of fun, and everyone, even after 1 year, everyone I know who has taught or gone there has come out refreshed, amazed, and having learned something about the music, about other people, about themselves, about students. It's a win-win situation.
Nick, I am on a call right now. I will call you back.
Thanks, Rob. Good luck with your talk. Yeah. Anyone else? Cleave, you got to go too? You want to say something before you leave?
You're
Are
muted.
you muted?
You're muted.
No, I was just saying bye to John.
Oh, bye to Rob. Okay, gotcha.
Rob, I mean.
Yeah. Any questions, comments about the schedule? I know we're moving things around every year. It has changed quite a bit, Cleave, from our first year. So we are getting more organized. You know, we are more efficient. I want to bring up one thing which came up. Possibility of taking private lessons. We've been talking about it. It was brought up by, I think, it was brought up by Sergio. It was brought up by John and Ann Phillips, and I had Heather, who is the part of the vocal faculty and her choirs and bands, also talked about it. So anyway, it's not on the schedule, but in case there will be private lesson, they can be taken probably after the talk back. Also in the evening, I'm trying to scroll up here. We have some evening events here. And they can change. They're not always exactly the same every year. But we had, on Tuesday night, we had an open rehearsal where we can just watch the people John had an open rehearsal. It was with Rob and Chaz and Sergio for their Thursday night performance, and then at the Jazz Presso and at the Highliner we had an evening performance where we just had everyone perform a song or two of what happened up until that point. It was a packed event. Everyone was there. It was really beautiful. A lot of people played there. The owner, Sherry, is a huge music supporter, and she really had tears in her eyes because she always wanted to have live music in her location, and it was just so much more than what she expected. She was really moved, and she talked for a little bit, and it was a beautiful inaugurational Jazz Presso at the Highliner.
Awesome.
Then Ann Phillips came up. She is was a special artist in residence, so to speak. She is also 91, I think a year older than my mother, but she is an amazing powerhouse vocal coach. She had just an amazing show here at Christmas time called Jazz Nativity with Paquito de Rivera, Ingrid Jensen, Tim Horner. I mean, really, the who's who in jazz in New York. Ron Carter had showed up, Clark Terry, she had, I mean, everyone of a big name in jazz she had at her Jazz Nativity, which she was doing it was her 40th year. So we don't know if she's going to come back. She might come back, and then she has another show she can do. We don't really know what will the Friday night look like. We have a big surprise for Saturday night. On Saturday night, all of the events are for free for the community and the people coming off the boats. The only event, which is internally kind of a fundraiser for the Jazz Week, but the only ticketed event is our Jazz Gala on the island. It comes with a full cruise. It comes with a full spread of crab, salmon, steak, ribeye steak, and coffee and dessert. Yeah, I mean, it's like, Terry, you miss it. Sergio went out there, and it's about a 3 to 3.5 hour event, and that's where we kind of celebrate. And this year was very, very special because I had the chance to invite some of my friends. Actually, believe it or not, I paid for their tickets because there's a lot of people in the background who really helping Sitka Jazz Week to be a success. One of them is my friend Rich Phillips and his wife Lucy. Rich has a garage full of instruments, so you wouldn't believe it. He's providing every drum set, every bass amp, every guitar amp for Sitka Jazz Week, and then also our friends Jen and Terry Lovett, who are really important for Jazz Week, and then Heather's husband Ryan Gluth, who's doing the website and everything. There's really a handful of people behind the scenes. So this year it was really important to me. The Hames family and Andrew Hames is a music teacher who's loaning us the vibraphone. I mean, there's so many people who making this possible, and really. So I wanted to, this year, 2025 was kind of my payback, so to speak, to invite all these people behind the scenes. Some of them you have met, some of them you haven't met, to make this all possible. So that was the Jazz Gala this year. For me, it was really amazing. And Cleave too, you too. For you, it was good because you always played the first 2 years, and this year you actually could really enjoy the meal. I saw you sitting at a table, and I think you sat with Rebecca, and I don't think that with Alex, but I saw it was really good. I mean, you played too, but it was great to see you relax, because sometimes for us musicians, when we play there for an hour, we have to just run to the table, eat the food, and then the boat is coming, and I have to go back to town, So, yeah. And anyway, and then also this 2026, a big surprise. We're having a great concert on Saturday night at the Mean Queen. I'm going to talk more about it as we go along, but there's going to be a very well-known Alaska band playing at the Mean Queen, and Chaz is involved. So we're going to make an official announcement once we get into the summer. So we're really hoping to pack the Mean Queen on Saturday night. And when we all come back from the cruise, we're going to go and hang out there a little bit. But so it gives you, go ahead, John, you want to say something? Anyone, go ahead. I'm kind of trying to finish out talking about the schedule. I'm going to stop sharing, so we're all back in the room again.
Well, I think that for all the students and the teachers participants, we got to have a lot of great events scheduled during the week in a wide variety of things: educational, playing, experiential, community getting together at breakfast and lunch, the hang. Don't forget our photographer, Chris. He's a historian of jazz. That guy, he wants to talk more about all the photography sessions he's done. So if you want to find out about all the Blue Note sessions and all sorts of things, just hang out with our photographer. Yeah. I mean, that cat he's worth the price of admission right there. He'll just talk your ear off till the cows come home.
And what some of you don't know, he is coming from a big camp here in New Jersey, Montclair, run by Christian McBride, amazing upright bass player, 7-time Grammy winner, and his wife Melissa run this great jazz camp here in New Jersey, and he's coming straight from the jazz camp right up to Sitka, Alaska, hanging out with us, taking literally thousands of amazing pictures. Yeah. And I didn't know that till after, he was talking with Ann Phillips. They were talking up in the kitchen at Stevenson Hall till like 2 a.m. in the morning about recordings, about
I know, I could hear him. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
I mean, and he is really truly an amazing guy. Thank you so much, John. I'm always afraid to forget someone. Recently, I apologized to John because for some reason, it has to do with my Grammy stuff, October, but I cannot tag all the people anymore on my Facebook site. I think I was overdoing it or something, but after first round Grammy voting, I cannot tag people anymore. And sometimes I feel very embarrassed that I cannot inform the people the way I used to do it, But anyway, really appreciate that you bring up Chris Strucker. He is also, what people don't know, he designed over 3,000 CD covers and record covers. He is an amazing graphic artist, and he has really worked for the who's who in jazz. So if you ever need a CD cover or a great picture or something, talk to Chris. And he's really also an amazing, his heart is in jazz, and that's why he's doing what he's doing. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the reason I say that is part of this getting together is the community hang. And seeing all these people who have had tons of experience in the music business from a lot of different aspects, like Cleave is talking about his whole thing with the Basie band and teaching at Juilliard and playing with Abdullah Ibrahim, talking about traveling around the world. For a younger kid and for somebody who's middle-aged or older, I mean, this is like groundbreaking information, and it's just fun. I mean, like jazz to me when I was growing up as a kid was like going down to the club like Baker's Keyboard Lounge in Detroit and seeing Jimmy Smith or seeing any of the different artists, Rashawn Roland Kirk or who am I thinking of? Song for My Father, composer. Yeah.
Horace Silver.
Yeah, but hanging out with those guys and talking to them in between sets, it's like you're getting to know and rub shoulders with these guys. With all the social media we have, we don't get a chance to do that anymore in person. This is a real big chance. I mean, like hanging out with Bernard and Ann is like a walking, talking history lesson. I mean, hearing those guys, this is like, wow. I can't believe it, And it was funny because I did a lot of sweeteners for Motown back in the 70s, and he was doing a lot of stuff for Motown too, but we never crossed paths because he would lay down his tracks on different days than I would lay down my tracks. I was always the Thursday night thing because Barry Gordy, that ran the company, ran it like Ford Motor. So he'd always lay down the rhythm tracks Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday morning, and then those guys would be out of the picture. He'd lay down vocal tracks later on in the afternoon, lay down the sweeteners Thursday night, and they'd decide, they'd mix all night Thursday night, and then they would put it before the head guys decide which 2 or 3 songs they were going to release the next week. They'd send them out to the record plant on Saturday, and they'd be out on the stands on Monday. But anyways, back to the hang. The hang is the cool thing. Yeah. We've got lots of free time in the afternoon. We have lots of people, besides musical interests, that have outdoors interests. I like to hike. I like to fish. Cleve likes to fish. Matt King loves to bike ride. He'll ride your rear end off. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff to do. I'm a history buff, if you want to talk history. So it's not just a musical experience. It's like the full package.
Yeah. So let's talk about, thank you, John. Let's talk about pricing. So the price for the week is $750. Includes a breakfast and a lunch. And then usually in the evening, sometimes what happened in the last 2 years, Celia, Bernard's wife, started cooking. Some other people start cooking, and there will be some leftover. John always cooks his own food, jambalaya, and so there's 2 kitchens, and that we can have a community meal also. And I think we had leftovers too from the island event. And anyway, so the cost for the week is $750. For the housing, we have this year, for the first time, a 50% discount from the Sitka Hotel and the Baranoff Lodge. And we have a discount code for you for the website. If you go to the sitkahotel.com or you go to the baranofflodge.com, the code is JazzWeek26. But anyway, I can email you all the information, Jen, or anyone else who's interested. Send me an email at sitkajazzweek@gmail.com. And also our jazz websites are sitkajazzweek.org, sitkajazzweek.org. Also, we are collaborating officially with the Alaska Jazz Workshop. You want to see what John is up to and what everyone else is up to. It's alaskajazzworkshop.org. And before we close out, Cleve and Teri, and you can promote your websites too, what you're up to. And so anyway, all you have to take care of is getting your flight to Sitka. And right now is a perfect time. Right now from the East Coast, a round trip is about a little bit over $600 to flying from JFK or Newark Airport to Sitka and back. So it's very affordable for participants. And then Juneau, I don't know, Jen, you probably might use miles, or right now you get a round trip from Juneau or Ketchikan, I don't know where you're coming from. Even Anchorage, I don't know what a round trip is from Anchorage right now to Sitka, but it's very affordable. Right now is a good time. And John, what I really liked, what you did the other day, you did a price comparison. So however, the hotel rooms, you can share your room, you can bring your significant other, you can bring a friend, you can share the room, same price, half price in the peak season in Sitka. That is a very big deal. So anyway, and we recommend that you reserve your room by May 1st. So right now you get really half price. The Baranoff Lodge is, I think it's $150 a night. It's a single or a double, or you can even bring a third person. It might go up $10 or something, but you really get a good deal. And then the Sitka Hotel has a kitchenette. If you do want to do your own cooking, have a certain dietary preferences, the Sitka Hotel has a kitchenette. We have some rooms reserved there as well. It's a couple of bucks more for the night, but so that's it. Looking about at $750, maybe $900 for the hotel, and then the week is $750. Some people have friends in Sitka. You can also get an Airbnb. 2 years ago, you could get an Airbnb for $1,200 for the week, housing up to 4 people. So if that's someone who has teachers or a band, or you want to bring a class, if you look for an Airbnb right now, you get a really good deal, and that really drives the costs down. So all you have to think about getting your airfare to Sitka. So that's basically it. But John, you were doing a price comparison. What have you done 3 workshops recently last year? What was?
Yeah, I did 3 workshops last summer, and the cost. I went to Jazz Camp outside Jazz Camp West, southwest of San Francisco, and that ran me about $3,300 for the week, for everything, not including airfare. Okay, and then I went to Jazz Port Townsend on the Olympic Peninsula, and that ran $3,100. And then I went to Victor Wooten's camp, and his camp was $1,400 plus there was hotel expenses, about another $500 expenses before and after the camp, and then the airplane flight. So you're talking between at least at least $2,200 to $3,200 to go to a week-long camp. And I really think that Sitka is a really good value for the money. I mean, when I did the Jazz Camp West, that had 330 people. And so it was like a big community. It's like an extended program from the Oakland Jazz Workshop that they did. So they had lots of people every year come out, the same people, back and forth. And there was a lot of student and teacher hang. The Jazz Port Townsend was like 145, and there was a lot of separation between the student bands and the teachers playing. You got a chance to hear a lot of teachers, great teachers playing, but there wasn't a lot of commingling as far as in the groups playing performance situation. And then Wooten's camp was like 60 people, and that was the most down home, most fun. It's on a 500-acre nature preserve southwest of Nashville for about an hour. So you did a lot of, it was the Spirit of Music camp, and that was very fun. Everything from meditation to getting in touch with your creative, youthful spirit sandbox, and also working as we get older with our physical issues. Because Victor's got that thing where his hand locks up. I forget what the medical name is. Yeah, Estonia. Yeah, so anyways, he had us working with his therapist, talking about medical issues and things like that. So you know about that, Teri.
Yes, I have another friend who had it that I've known for years, so I knew about it before I heard about Victor having it.
What is that called?
Dystonia?
Estonia? Like the
country? Dystonia.
Oh, Dystonia.
Yeah, and, you know, I don't know, it comes in different forms maybe, but a friend of mine, you know, his foot would just like play the bass drum when it wanted to, and then wouldn't when he wanted it to, you know. So you literally lose control of your faculties, your limbs, you know. But I think people have it in different ways. I don't know that much about it, but yeah, it's pretty.
Victor's got it in his left hand, and so he was working with a therapist to establish like a new biofeedback with the neural pathway between his brain and his hand, so he can control it. It's sort of like getting a hammer hand. You got your fingers like lock on the strings, and you can't move, which would be bad for you, Cleave, with your.
I was just thinking about that. I was saying, oh man, I hope I never get that. That's horrible.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the worst things a musician can get, really, you know.
Yeah. Right. But it just, you know, this camp was all about how do we overcome those kinds of issues, whether it's
that's great.
Imposter issue or the blockage, you know, the writer's block issue, all those kinds of things. But it was just a great camp. So I guess my point is that I think the Sitka Jazz Week is a really good value for the money. Where else are you going to get this world-class experience with all these great people in one place in such a beautiful location? The only thing I would say is make sure that you dress for sunny weather, but you also bring layers and don't forget your raincoat because it can rain there, right?
That's good advice.
Yeah, so it's Alaska weather, dress in layers, right, Jan?
Yeah, rain gear and rubber boots, extra toughs.
Yeah, you got to have your wellies, extra toughs and wellies.
It's kind of hard to take those when you fly. Like, I didn't bring a raincoat because we flew. We tried to just bring a carry-on, you know?
Well,
so then you're like...
You got to wear them. At the airport, you just put them on and bring them with you.
Just like a fisherman.
I tell you, all my traveling tricks are learned from Mr. Cleave Guytton right there. He has it all figured out. He can travel all over the world with one carry-on and all the flute and the saxophone.
I'm impressed.
He always carries, even in the summer, you take your jacket with you. He's doing exactly what John was saying, and the coat underneath, you know.
Well, Christian, I have a friend. It's funny that you say that because people tease me about that all the time. They're like, every night you wear something different and you only got that little bag in your saxophone. But check it out. I have a good friend named Minoru Kubota. He's Japanese, but he lives in Taiwan with his wife. He was so thrilled at how I traveled and how, I was dressing like daily because we were working every day in Taiwan. He was like, he came to my room and he documented everything that he said, "How do you do that?"
No, you're kidding. You kidding?
Amazing.
I'm telling you the truth. I said, yeah. When
He
you write,
framed it?
I said, when you write that book, I want my, I want my residual pay. Yeah.
I'm going to call and talk to you before the next trip.
Well, women is a little different because you guys
I
have
was
to.
going to say it is. We
Yeah,
always have to bring more.
Men,
Yeah, she
you just
is.
need clean underwear and clean socks.
I know. I tell my husband that all the time. I go, all you do is put on the jacket and comb your hair back, and now you're ready for dinner.
No, women. Oh my God. Yeah, women. No, you got. This is a different story.
It's a whole other thing.
But it's true. I learned. I just watched Cleave. I remember. I told you this a few times, you know. But those. First of all, I started using those metal tabs you have on your shoes because when I moved to New York, I walked so much. I lived in Manhattan, and I wore my shoes out and I threw them away. And then I had no money. I'm like, that's stupid. So I'm like, I saw you with those metal tabs. I'm like, oh, that's what I need to do. And then the way you travel, because when my very first gig with a traveling gig with the Lion Hampton Big Band, I remember I was still in Boston, and I had a big carry-on, and I just went to the bathroom. I put my shampoo in there. I put all, everything I grabbed. I thought I would eat on the road. I put in my carry-on, and then I was rooming with Kuni Mikami, the piano player from Japan, and he saw me putting out all those big shampoo bottle and the whatever expenses I brought, and he was laughing. He was on the floor. He's like, "What did you do?" I said, "Well, I just grabbed it, But anyway, it took me a while, but. Every time I see Cleave, I figured that out with your jacket, even in the summer, and your coat, and your dress in layers. He's doing exactly what John said, And then, I mean, I just glance at it. I mean, I wouldn't even dare to ask you to show me although next time I'm going to ask you to show me how you pack your carry-on. But I know you told me how you pack everything, and everything has its compartment, and everything is organized. Anyway, I mean, I got some imagination, so I really had to learn how to travel on the road, travel light and efficient, so that you have what you need, and also have enough so you look a little different every day, especially when you do workshops and stuff like that.
That's right. And see, this is the trick. Even if you just bring one jacket, you bring one sport coat. Then the thing is to bring a couple of different ties, just like 2 or 3 different ties, and a few different shirts. And you mix everything that you bring. It has to be work together.
Right.
So the colors. That's what I'm saying.
You
like
can
the colors.
switch them up.
You can switch it up, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, yeah, wow, you look." It's like, yeah. You learn these things over time,
Yeah,
but
it's true.
Yeah.
When you travel a lot, you get it tweaked, huh?
Yeah.
I have an idea for Sitka Jazz Week, so I'm going to do How to Travel the World with Cleave Guytton.
Hey, it's a good idea.
No, I'll just be strictly about music.
I do have to. Go ahead.
I think you got to go on Rick Steves' show and talk to him about how to go to Europe and travel light.
Yeah. A lot of people, it's funny that Christian brings that up because everybody always asks me. Oh, the whole band, even with the Macy band, we used to go out. And we come out in the Ellington band. They're like, "That's all you got?" I'm like, "That's it. One little roller bag and my saxophone, and then I have a little pouch that goes under my raincoat for my iPad and stuff like that because they'll try to charge you for that. You got another bag? No.
And you hide it under there. Yeah, I've got tricks like that.
And then you put your raincoat on over there, on a nice small raincoat. This way, and then you got your umbrellas and all.
But
everything.
don't you get hot when you're like, I'll get hot in the airport and I'll be taking off jackets. Oh,
yeah, but it's only for until you get on the plane. Once you get on the plane, that's it.
It's cold again.
Yeah. No, once you get on your plane, then you got all this stuff that you need. So then you could take your stuff off and and then you make it to your destination.
Well, hey, you guys, I'm going to have to sign off. It's fun talking to you.
Sounds great. So we can wrap it up. So let's just. I
got to go too because I got to get a little bit of practice on my clarinet tonight.
So thank you, everyone. We have a couple more Zoom calls coming up. We're going to announce them. We have Bernard Purdie, East Coast time, next week at 10 a.m. He's very busy playing again, so Teri and Sergio will be there. Then Tuesday afternoon, we have Heather Gluth with her class. Hopefully Ron Carter is going to come by. I want them to officially meet. And Ron was a big supporter for Jazz Week last year. And I talked to Ron, and it's possible he will show up. And then we have Ketchikan Juneau, Jen, if you want to step by one more time. It's going to be also next Tuesday, 2 p.m. Juneau time, Catchy Can time. And then we have one more Zoom at the end of next week on a Saturday with Heather, with all her vocalists. So anyway, thank you guys. Thank you from the bottom of my time, from my heart. And you know where to find us, sitkajazzweek.org. And thank you all. Thank you so much, Jen. Nice to meet you.
Bye, guys.
Adios.
See you guys later.
Adios,
Bye-bye.
amigos.